Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Thanks for checking out another video here. You saw in the last one that I got the jet ski, and when I got it, the previous owner said it wasn't running. He had problems. He threw in the towel, and this was a whole learning process for me. I've never worked on a jet ski before. I have no idea how they worked, and you saw that I finally was able to get it up and running, so I was pretty stoked on that. The next part of my jet ski adventure is getting a trailer and finding a trailer that was not expensive, which a lot of people think that their jet ski trailers, even though they look like a piece of shit, they are worth more than gold. So I found 4 trailers that were within my budget that I was okay with. I contacted the sellers and they're like, yeah, cool, let's meet up, let's try and get the deal done. And when it came to, okay, hey, what's the address? They totally just like ghosted me and just disappeared. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, this wasn't just 1 or 2, this was like 4 different ones. So then I found another trailer, and it was about an hour's drive from me. I talked with the seller, he was really cool about it. We set up a time to meet the following day. But this one had it came with something else that I knew about, and he already gave me the price that he wanted to sell it for, and I was okay with it. So that's why I was like, cool, whatever, we'll go check it out. So I ran out there and I went and checked it out, and what this trailer came with is another jet ski. It's the last thing I needed. I don't need another jet ski, but in order to get the deal, I needed to take the jet ski. This thing was dirty. It was sitting out in the desert, you know, collecting desert dust. The battery was dead, so we hooked it up to my truck with some jumper cables to try and jump start it. It wouldn't go. The engine barely would crank over. It just go ka-ka-ka-ka, and that was it. I kind of had an idea what it might be. I'm thinking maybe it's just locked up. It can't get itself turning, or it just needs a lot more power to be able to crank over. I'm not sure, because like I said, I don't know these jet skis very well. We made the deal, bought the trailer, bought the ski, brought it home, and I charged up the battery, got the battery in there, and I hit the start button, and it would not start. It still wouldn't start. So then I just started thinking, well, then the motor's got to be locked up. So took off the spark plug, sprayed some penetrating oil in there, and it turned over. Didn't turn over the greatest, but it turned over. So I sprayed a little bit more in there, cranked it over, and it was just spinning really, really good. So put everything back together. I regapped the spark plugs and hit start, and that thing just fired right up. Really good, really solid sounding engine. It has really good compression, so I was excited about that. Okay, bring it closer so you can see the gauge. Perfect. Okay, leave it there. 150, not 500. Oh. No.
Hey, I already zoomed in. It zoomed in. Said he never seen that thing before.
I don't know what that is.
What is that? If you know what that thing is, then comment down in the comments.
Very good. Okay, so these here are the old ones. The guy said he replaced them. Now, that's pretty bad. Here's the other one, and he said he replaced those about a year ago. That's when he said he replaced them. So anyways, I put in those new spark plugs, I cranked it over, and it started taking off on me. It was idling really, really high.
I'm videoing you.
Okay.
I Hi, Daddy.
Hey, sweetie. Got a leak.
Where's the leak? Where is it?
On the backside.
Let me show you. Let me show YouTube. We got a leak, YouTube. We got a leak.
So what I did was this jet ski doesn't have a tack. So what I did was I bought one of these guys, and as you can see, it just wraps up onto the spark plug wire. And then when you turn it over and it runs, you can see what the RPM's on it, and it was at 4,800 RPM, which is way over what the manual calls for running off of a hose. So I was thinking, well, maybe the carburetor's out of adjustment. So I checked the low and high idle screw, and both of those were way out of spec. I mean, they were out by 4 and 5 turns. So I put the high and the low to 0, and the high is spec'd at 0. So I backed out the low, put that at 1.5, turn it on. I was still at 48. So I knew there was something wrong with the carburetor. I sprayed some carb cleaner around the carb base to see if the if the motor revs up higher, which it didn't. So I knew that this carburetor needed to be rebuilt. When I bought this off of the previous owner, he said that he rebuilt the carbs and everything was running really good with it. To be honest with you, I don't think he ran it in 2 years, and if he rebuilt the carbs, then he had no idea what he was doing, because once I pulled apart the carbs, I could see that the carbs were not put together properly. So let me show you the parts. So here's the diaphragm that was in the carburetor that I took out. You can see that this is very worn for being something that was just replaced, and supposedly only a couple hours run on it. That is just terrible. This guy here is just, you can see it's just old. It's been sitting in the carb for a long time. The screen was fine, not too bad. There was some gunk in there. I actually blew it out because I was going to reuse it, but decided not to. So I actually cleaned the gunk out of there. So here's the carburetor. It's all been completely rebuilt. It's installed back on. Here's all the cables. This is the choke. Down here is for the throttle, right here. And way down here, that's for the oil pump. So this one here was the most tricky because it has to be, there's markings, and the markings are hard to see, so you have to use a mirror to be able to see in there. So I adjusted it, got all those put together. That's all now set up really well. So now this thing, I turn it on and it fires right up. And it has no hesitation to where it doesn't want to start like before, where it was to spray some premixed fuel inside the carburetor and then it would fire. Now you don't have to do anything. In fact, I don't even need to pull the choke. It fires right up. Press that button, it turns over. And so now I need to get all the old gas out of there. The old gas, you can definitely smell it's varnished. It's not horrible like it was on my one of my boats, my Sea Chaser 17. When I got that, that was terrible smelling gas. This one's bad, but not horrible. But anyways, I got to pull that out. There's not that much in there, maybe a few gallons, maybe 2 or 3, and get that pulled out. And I'm gonna put some fresh gas in there. It already has some new 2-stroke oil in it. And then I'm gonna run it again and see how it goes off of the hose. And Then the next step will be to get this whole thing washed and polished. So as you can see, this thing it's really, it's really chalky. So it has a lot of oxidation on it. So gonna get some oxidation remover. This here, I gotta pull this off. I'm gonna rewrap this. I got some material I'm gonna put over here, so that will look nice. Get everything all cleaned up. I'm gonna work on taking this off, putting on the new seat cover. So that's gonna be fun to do because there's only about 1 million staples on the bottom of that seat. And I gotta put the filter back onto the carburetor and the carburetor's breather box. Put that all on there. But also gotta put everything back together over there as well. I was just double checking, making sure there's no problems here. And then also come back here. The previous owner, he pulled off all the padding. And then I thought this was like Marine Tex, but it's some kind of silicone. So that's all gonna have to come off. And put this thing back together and get it on the water and try it out. So far, not too bad. I mean, this thing runs really good. Let's talk about this guy over here. This one is all pretty much complete. This here has all been installed. It runs, but there's still a problem. It doesn't start up like it should. I think it's a fuel pressure issue. So with this one here, I'm gonna wait for the tool to come that I bought. That's gonna be able to check the fuel pressure in here. So I'm gonna check it at the rail. I think that's where my problem is right now because everything else has been replaced and that's the last thing that I can check. And I can put new O-rings on. Let me show you where. So here at the rail, right where the fuel line comes in, right over here. I pull this out. First take off this hex head. Pull out this, and there's going to be a O-ring that's going to be on that end, and I believe there's another one on this one right here. So hopefully that's where the issue is with it's not starting properly because I've already cleaned out the fuel injectors. The air injectors have been cleaned out. Everything's back in here. The fuel regulator has been replaced as well. This has brand new spark plugs. The ray valves, I just want to double check and make sure where these are supposed to be setting. Other than that, I don't see any other issues that it could be. Fuses are working good. It's getting plenty of fuel, brand new fuel pump, obviously. So once I get that put in, let's see how this thing starts up. I also have to get ready to get these things all cleaned up and get my boat ready to go because it is now lobster season. So I need to get all my hoops all taken care of, get everything out of storage, and get my boat cleaned up. I can't wait to go fishing for some lobsters soon, so see how we go.